All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the District of Brown School Board meeting. I'd like to be able to call this meeting to order at 6:05 p.m. Verification of a public notice. The meeting has been publicly noticed. Verification of a quorum. We have 4 board members in attendance and 1 virtually. So we have 5 board members. Approval of the agenda. Does someone like to make a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
Dr. Beal, I'd like to make a motion for the approval of the agenda.
Oh, thank you very much, Ms. Megan. Motion has been made. Do we have a second? All right, thank you very much, Ms. Wells. Motion is made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor, raise hand and/or aye.
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 All right. Thank you very much. Motion carries 5-0. And the reading of our vision and our mission statement. Our vision is to provide a rigorous education that empowers our students to confidently navigate in our ever-changing world. And our mission is through the lens of excellence, equity, and engagement. We are dedicated to empowering every student with the essential skills to build a foundation for lifelong learning. All right, let's go on to our area number 2, our business office reports. Mr. Clemick.
Good evening, members of the board. My brief comments this evening, I provided you with my business office report. First off, food service, just letting you know that we have a change coming for our food service director. Michelle Anderson has announced she is resigning and moving on to other opportunities. So we certainly have appreciated her time in the district, and I know the board has enjoyed some of the treats that she's provided over the years that's at our meeting. So we do wish her well. We have a new director named. He will be joining us either at the end of this week and officially Monday as his first start date. Looking forward to working with him. He's currently an assistant manager in an area, the assistant food director in an area school district. So it's great to have him join us, and I will bring him to the board meeting when he joins us officially. So that's the food service director part. We've had a couple other changes with food service that started this year. As you remember, we have our North Commons kitchen renovation, which was completed a couple weeks ago and proudly opened up on September 3rd for the first day of school. So we are offering now a number of different choices for our high school students. Not only the toasted deli sandwiches, custom made to order, but also that restaurant rotation piece. That's in addition to the pizza, fries, and the burger, chicken sandwiches, and salad that we've offered for quite some time. So those are all those stations are open. We are working on some signage now. We kind of wanted to see how flow would go with the students, and if we had to add any kind of barriers or anything to kind of just make sure that the traffic flow was good. But we feel very confident we're gonna have some signage going up and some other things, and we are also gonna be announcing some of these things to the families. Now we kind of treated this as a soft opening, just so we weren't inundated in the first day with something that was brand new. And then just also as a reminder for our families that as part of our renewal with Aramark, one of the things that they talked about with this new contract is we did switch from, and I can't remember the name of the old service, but we're switching to NutriSlice, which is the website that hosts our menu that Aramark prepares every day. One of the advantages, so if you go to our district website and click on food service menus, you'll be taken to this secondary site, and then you can click on whatever school you're in, and then whether you want breakfast or lunch, and you can see either days or weeks or months at a time. One of the cool things about the NutriSlice platform is that there is a filter button at the top of the screen that allows you to select either certain food preferences like vegan or vegetarian, or certain allergens that you can check, and then certain items and the menu will get crossed off. And so those are things that don't align with your preferences. So it's really easy for parents to kind of know, what would be something that their child would eat or be able to eat, and what to avoid. So that becomes really easy using that platform. So that's something that's new. And again, that'll be something we'll communicate out in the next, hopefully the next week or so, as we kind of get now ramped up here as the 3rd week of school. But some exciting changes in the food service area. I don't know if you have any questions on any of those items.
I concur. I happen to go on to that website this week to look up the food menus, and there was spectacular stuff. I'm very good at thoughts.
Excellent. Good news, good to hear. Okay, then moving on with my business office report. Just wanted to give you kind of a staffing update from where we were, a couple weeks ago. As we start the school year, we only have a couple of, teaching positions that are open. We have one cross-categorical sped teacher at the elementary school and a high school, math teacher. We will probably still look for the elementary school teacher. Ms. Ramos's plan is to try to build a functional skills room down there. What is, well, over the staff or, oh, okay, I take that back. We do have an opening, different opening, so my apologies. And then also, the math, I think we consolidated math classes, so I don't know that we'll need to make a change, but we'll certainly continue to, pursue candidates that maybe at semester time, if someone's looking for a position, that might be an opportunity to make a shift and bring that new teacher on. But other than that, all of our other, major positions have been filled. Just want to update you on the Verkada camera project update. From a financial standpoint, a couple of weeks ago, you approved the lease agreement. We've taken care of that. We've signed all the paperwork. We've made our 2 payments for the down payment and the initial payment for the 24-25 school year. So we're all set. I did, as I mentioned in the summary, I did discover after the fact that I had made a slight error in what I had presented to the board versus what I had kind of spoken to them about. And when I asked them for numbers, I said, hey, what if we do $125,000 down payment? But then when I sent it to the board, I gave you $120,000 for some reason. And that's what you approved. So that's what I stuck with. And so I just had them readjust. And so I did note that there's a slight difference in the annual cost, but obviously I'm not also sending $5,000 more right now. So very small thing. And again, that may be a situation that we would hopefully have an opportunity to prepay at some point, and maybe those interest costs would go down even more. But so the financing piece has all been taken care of. We've already paid our first 2 invoices with Heartland, excuse me, and Verkada. I believe all the equipment has arrived, and they've scheduled the window for installation, which is at the end of October. They're anticipating 4 to 6 weeks, and then obviously somewhat weather dependent, especially for all of the outdoor work that they have to do. So they anticipate by the beginning of December or early December, we have the project complete. And I am still waiting to hear back from the federal government regarding our grant award modification, which allows for some assistance or using the COPS grant, a larger portion of the COPS grant for that initial down payment. They did tell me last week, they said you should hear something this week. So I just haven't heard it yet, but maybe by the end of the week, I'll be able to report out that we are all set and that the $100,000 down payment would be covered by the COPS. Right, that's the hope. And then last item was just to let you know, because it's important that we make these payments. We did make our September bond payment on September 1st. So that's the semi-annual payments that we make for all of the debt that we own. This is an interest-only payment, so we do that, and that was about $550,000. We'll make our next payment on March 1st, which will be principal and interest, and that will be funded by the next tax levy, the 2025 tax levy.
Yeah, what is the interest rate on that anyway?
It varies from the bonds, because some of the bonds are 4%. It goes anywhere from 2.5 to 4. So when we have defeased debt in the past, we have taken the 4% bonds, and those are the ones that we're prepaying because they're the highest interest rates. But those are all locked in at the time of when the bonds were issued during the various referendum.
All right.
Any questions on anything else?
Board members, questions for Mr. Koenig in relationship to his business office update? All right. Thank you very much. All right, let's go on to our next item, which is our approval of new hires.
Yes, we have 2 new hires as part of the staffing, good news. We have Deborah Andolino, who's joining us as an elementary school instructional coach. And then Wayman Tatum is joining us as our elementary school music teacher.
All right. Cool. Would someone like to make a motion?
I think we are to make a motion to approve the hiring of Deborah Andolino as an elementary school instructional coach effective August 28th, 2024, and Wayman Tatum as an elementary school music teacher effective September 23rd, 2024 for the 24-25 school year.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Welch. We have a motion. Second.
Second.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Macon. All right, any further discussion? I was gonna say just excellent job being able to turn around and try to find this instructional coach and this music teacher, because I know that was No, that was a hard one trying to find this music teacher. So man, great job, HR. All right, so with that being said, all in favor, raise hand and or aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And seeing none, motion carries unanimously. All right, thank you very much. All right, Mr. Fleming, next piece of great news, resignations.
We have no resignation.
All right, more great news. All right, let's go on to our item D, our discussion of our cash flow line of credit.
Yeah, so we did this last year. I wanted to share with you kind of where we are. Obviously, we had another positive year. We have more, our fund balance is certainly greater. Now, you have to remember that fund balance is not bank account. There are accounting pieces to that of money that's owed or other things that don't translate directly into cash. So you can't just assume that we have another $1.3 million in our bank account. But nonetheless, we do have more money than we did a year ago. And so you know, several years ago, we were borrowing multi-millions of dollars to carry us through the school year. The last 2 years, or the last year, we opened a line of credit. We never utilized it. And so the question is, do we want to do that again? I'm showing you in this chart that's part of the executive summary where our cash flow is right now, and then the gray line kind of shadowed is where it was last year. And that's the total. I keep track of our two main bank accounts, BMO and WISC. WISC is used primarily for payroll. That's where I keep money. That's where we pay payroll out of. And then the total amount is in the green. So if you kind of follow the green and the gray lines to kind of project where we are. Our low point is always right around Thanksgiving. It's the November 30th payroll. After that, early in December, we get a big chunk, 40% of our equalization aid, so it shoots up right after that, and then tax levy money starts coming in January. The only thing that's a little harder for me to predict this year is that we do have a number of expenses that are not reflected yet. We're gonna get the final bill from C.G. Schmidt for the North Commons kitchen remodel, which is a little over $300,000. We do have a number of the projects, the capital projects that you've approved, things like the tennis court, the asphalt that has been done, all that work, those bills will all come due, and all those things kind of combined, it's probably another couple $100,000. As well as we have new hire salaries for our staff. Where we don't, traditionally, we've kept salaries the same. We do the back pay thing toward the end of the school year or the end of the calendar year. This year, we came to an agreement with teachers. Everyone has their increased raises, and they're getting them right away, starting September 15th or September 13th, as the case may be. So that's all happening right away. So the cash is going to go a little faster than it has in previous years. So just showing this, I tend to be a little bit more cautious and just to have a little something in my pocket in case who knows what happened. So I'm going to suggest that because Quarles and Brady, who's the law firm that we've used in the past, they actually have it's basically a very simple online portal. You can do this relatively quickly, which is why their costs are relatively low. So it's like $2,800, $2,900.
That's for that line of credit that we didn't use before, but we had access to it.
Right, and so last year we didn't have, the line of credit itself didn't cost all the legal documents because of what you have to agree to with the resolution, things like that. That's what, we paid Quarles. We didn't end up actually paying Tri-City anything.
Right.
We closed the account when we didn't use it. There were no ongoing charges. I don't anticipate we would use it, but I'm thinking, and even if we didn't have $1 million, even if we had a $500,000 line of credit, that would be enough to do one payroll, which is all we would be needing to get through, if in fact it got to that point. I don't anticipate it, but I guess for me to have to spend $3,000 to know that even if something weird happens,
payroll and everything else. So with that being said, Kevin, reading back through all of that, would that be something that we would need to make sure that we did an approval of, the board did an approval of, to be able to say that let's go ahead and go do the line of credit?
Well, last time we discussed it, and then, I can bring you the paperwork and actually the resolution. So you don't have to pre-approve anything. If you want me to go through the process of going to get it done, I can do that now. I can set that up. Last year, we also did bids, or we tried to do bids where they had recommended that we send it out to multiple banks, but the reality was that banks that we don't have relationships with weren't interested in bidding, so we really only had BMO and Tri-City. BMO is more expensive. I don't anticipate that's going to change, so I'd probably, go to Tri-City directly and just basically have Quarles do the legal paperwork, Tri-City do the banking paperwork, have it all set up, and then, at the end of October, we can, approve the resolution to have the cash flow bar open, so that again, it'll be available in November, should we need it.
I would say, you know what, Kev, I'd be safe, I'm sorry. Go ahead and start the process or whatever, then you get it to us, and then it'll be a line item in the October board meeting or whatever for approval for us to be able to use it. I will piggyback on what Kevin said. Last year, we did the same thing. Great, we didn't have to use it or whatever, but it's always good to be able to know that you have it there. And it cost us only like $3,000 to be able to have was it $1 million?
$1 last year. It'll be
$1
about
million line of credit to be able to borrow it if we needed to. We didn't, of course, we didn't need it, but it only cost us $3,000 to be able to have it there just in case. So I just think that would be something that would be financially smart for us to be able to continue to do that. And so I would say my recommendation is, Kev, go ahead and do that and stuff, get all that information back to us. And then we make that as Ms. Ross and a line item, or Dr. Cotton, a line item in October for approval from the board.
Yeah, once we get all the, I'll reach out to Quarles, get all the paperwork started and go through the application process with Tri-City. We'll avoid, because we did this, I think, in the same meeting, we had this conversation last time, but we also, the bidding process took a little bit longer, but we can avoid that to some extent unless the board is.
Can we just, because Tri-City is actually one of our banks and it is local for us or whatever, this branch or whatever have you. I know that we always have to turn on, we always wanted to continue to be able to do bids or whatever have you.
And when I closed the account, they were, my contact there said we'd be more than happy to do it again, for the next year. So I don't anticipate any issues, go through the same process again. So that's what I'll work through over the next several weeks to get that taken care of, so.
Board members, questions for Kevin in relationship to this?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So you said that the fees were due to the paperwork piece, but do we need to go through the same process since we've done it before, where we would have to owe that much, or could it be a lesser cost?
There are certain disclosures and things you have to do on an annual basis, so that's their standard package price for doing something like that. I actually think that's less than we paid when we did the when we did a BMO line of credit the year before. I actually went through, BMO had so actually to back up. So last year we did this same relationship with Quarles and Tri-City. The year before, I went directly through BMO to set up the line of credit. Again, we didn't use it, but they had their own attorneys, or not their own, but they had another law firm that they associated with to do the write-up. And that was almost like a $7,000 or $8,000 cost to us. So when Quarles kind of sends us out to everybody, we use Quarles before for other bond issues. If we do a defeasance, they work with Baird. They'll be part of the process and the cost of doing that defeasance piece. So I think the $2,800 or $2,900 it turns out to be is a pretty reasonable price for this kind of piece, because we have obligations to report certain things, and there's certain resolutions you have to do in certain ways, and so there is a lot of documentation, a lot of signatures, as you know, to go through to build this, because it is a debt that we're saying. We're basically saying we're pledging tax revenue to be able to pay this off if we need to. So there are pieces we just can't avoid, but that's a relatively inexpensive little piece of insurance, I guess I would call it.
Okay.
Any other board members, any other questions for Mr. Clement in relationship to this? All right, thank you very much, Kevin.
Thank you.
All right, let's go on to our next one, our engaged and innovative staffing update. Dr. Cotton, is it Ms. Jackson?
I can start. We have just a few vacancies that we're still trying to hire for. And Ms. Jackson, please correct me if I'm wrong, but in the elementary school, I know that we are still in need of 2 special education aides, correct? Three. And then at the middle school, I believe it's that same thing. There are 2 there. And then the high school, we're still with the math teacher that we need to have fill that vacancy, even though we have someone coming in for that. And then for the ASC, we have the second shift lead vacancy that's still open, and a first shift vacancy that is still open at this point. Am I missing any, Ms. Jackson?
The K3 functional skills teacher for the elementary school.
So what again? I'm sorry.
The functional skills classroom?
So we need 3 sped aides in elementary, 2 sped aides in the middle school. And we need 1 math teacher in high school. Is that, what math are we talking about? Are we talking algebra, algebra 2,
The higher level math course. For.
geometry? What are we talking?
But do you know?
Yeah, it's not, it's math, so it's a person who will be teaching like the calculus course.
So
the
cap,
higher-
all right, yeah, that's
for the
that ain't regular math.
Yeah,
So, all right, so I just wanted to know what type of math instructor we're looking for. So this is a calculus, so this will be all of our students that are in 11th and 12th grade.
correct.
Yeah, very few from where we were. And I
And-
started on.
Right, and you said 1 for the ASC person, what are you talking about, is that?
The Nancy, I'm talking about, Mr. Russ's,
Oh, okay, all right,
his,
all right.
his.
Oh,
his
janitorial
staff.
staff,
Yeah,
That'd
exactly.
be-
Okay.
that'd be me.
all right.
He's a second shift lead as well as someone for first shift.
Yeah, I was like, 1 ASC staff, what
Yeah.
are you doing? Okay, what
Yeah,
are we
we
doing,
were
what are
just-
we doing now? Okay,
Well, And we should add too, we don't bring these employees necessarily to the board for approval, but we did hire the operations manager, which was, Matt's original position. We do actually now have someone who started on Monday, so that position, which went vacant for quite a while. We're looking forward to having a really solid person. Took a while to find the right person, but Mr. McIntyre started with us yesterday and looking forward to having him in that role.
McIntyre,
Ken McIntyre.
Ken,
Ken
Yep.
McIntyre.
all right, and that is all of the updates for staffing. All right, 24-25 registration update. Dr. Kyle.
Thank you so very much. So knowing that we've been 5 days ago, we officially opened the district for the 24-25 school year. To date, we have 1,441 students who have enrolled in and attended classes within the district. But for that, if you're wondering about that number, we've also had the school social workers who are working on identifying the whereabouts of all the students whose registrations have either not been started, not verified, and are pending are those students. So we've got school social workers that are working on identifying where those students are, and I do have some preliminary information with some kids, but this is a process and it probably will take them days to complete. But I also have been working with all of the building principals. They were also sent this exact same list of students that appeared on one of those 3 lists. They gave those lists over to their staff to see if there was a case of someone being in the building, but just not on the verified list. So they've been working on that. They did that starting today. I've got some preliminary for that as well, not completed because it might take time for that one as well. And then I've also got a meeting because I'm worried about attendance in here as well. So I have a meeting set up this Thursday with all of the administrative assistants to make sure that we can recover all of the students that way too. So we've got a multiple ways that we're trying to ensure that getting at that, the projected enrollment number, we are as close to it as actual as we possibly can be. So that's some of we still have 8 days to go before third Friday, which is
Friday the 20th,
the 20th, Friday,
right, and
September 20th.
that's what I was gonna ask. I know it's gonna be kind of a full court press in relationship to doing that and stuff, and just for everybody that essentially doesn't know about Third Count Friday. Third Count Friday is the date when every student is able to be counted for payment. And anything after that, there's no payment amounts behind that. So hence the reason why they call it Third Count Friday and why it's so vital and so important for us to be able to get all of our students registered and been in a seat with us the day before and the day after.
Are we like 250 down? Are we?
Yeah, it's about, it'll be about like 200, about 200 right now. But again, like I said, Dr. Scott said,
230, yeah.
That would be about 230, but I'm also looking at some other things. I was looking at the dashboard, trying to track attendance too. We have a number of students that are already showing 2, 3 absences, 4 absences, trying to find out where those students are. Do they plan to come back? Because they also would count they've been in attendance with us.
Right.
Right now, they're still on our ticker and they would count for us
Right.
especially if they don't show on the third Friday, we just need them to count
Coming
one day
Monday.
after that.
Yep.
We're hoping that everybody, so everyone that's listening, if you haven't come just yet, we're hoping that you will come. We need you here, within the district. So that's kind of where we are with enrollment. And like I said, I didn't want anybody to panic because I know that number is very different from probably what you've heard, but we've got a lot of things in the works trying to recover and make sure that we have accurate account for all of the students that are here.
All right, well, Dr. Cotton, I would just say that you and the team
Yeah.
continue to do the good work that you're doing and stuff, and we'll see what that number looks like third count Friday, and I'm quite sure the board is gonna be very anxious to see what that number actually ends up being and stuff, so just kind of keep us in the loop in relationship to that.
We are, and you know, it's one of the things that members of the cabinet we're meeting every day at 2:00 to just discuss the health of the district, and enrollment is one of the things that we discuss every meeting.
Sounds good. Any questions for Dr. Cotton in relationship to registration update? All right, thank you very much. All right, let's go into our engaged board and community lead, our budget hearing, and our annual meeting, September 26th. It's in the BDE cafeteria, and must be anyone there has to be present in order to be able to vote. That's community members. All right, any community member that's there is able to be able to vote. If you're not if you're not there, you can't vote. So we want to make sure, Dr. Cotton, that we continue to be able to get that information out to all of our parents, to let them know to come to the annual meeting so that their voice can be heard and be able to vote on all these important matters that we kind of got going on or whatever. So with that being said,
I have a
I don't
question.
know who else was going to be speaking in relationship to it? Was it Dr. Cotton? Was it Mr. Clemick?
I just wanted to start, or at least in case anybody wanted to chime in. Obviously, one of the big pieces of that meeting is the budget presentation. And I think it's also, we've talked about the fact that we know where we're headed at some point down the road, that, that we're looking at a deficit budget this year, and that at some point we feel like we may need to seek additional revenue. Dr. Beadle shared a story today where in the Journal Sentinel, they mentioned that there's 100 districts going to referendum.
Out of 426 across the state of
Yeah.
Wisconsin. So
Why?
so that's one fourth of the school districts in the state of Wisconsin have already gone out for a referendum in relationship to that and stuff. So, we've been fortunate so far. And part of the conversation that Kevin and Dr. Cotton and I had today was in relationship to what we potentially could look like for the upcoming school year and stuff, and can we make it through? Right now, preliminarily, yes, but the following year after that, no. And that will be a big piece of the premise of the annual meeting. We start to have those discussions saying that we think we're gonna end up having to go out for a referendum. But what we've been done is we've been fortunate enough as a suburban school district to not have to do it yet or whatever, because we've been great financial stewards of the money. This board has been wonderful when it comes to that, and Kevin and his team and the administration has been wonderful in relationship to that, us making great decisions, relationship to the dollars that we spend, bringing in quality program, bringing in quality staff, our facilities and everything else like that or whatever. But we want to be able to continue to do that. All right, it's going to take money. It's going to take money in order for us to be able to continue to do that. So every board member, every person on the administrative team, every parent, everybody is going to have to start to talk about, hey, the wonderful things that the District of Brown Deer is doing for our students and for our staff and for our community, and letting them know that, hey, it takes money to continue to be able to do that. And the way that the legislation everything is set up right now, the inflation rate is not matching what they're giving us. We're fortunate in our community, we're fortunate enough in relationship to our free and reduced lunch students and everything else like that, that there's other dollars that we get that we don't have to pass that on to our taxpayers or whatever have you. Hence the reason for the last, 6 years, Kevin, that the district, the district from the tax levy standpoint, it's gone down every year. We didn't, but the total that the district needs that goes towards your property tax bill has gone down every year for the last 6 years.
Since right after the referendum. Yeah. the last
So-
referendum.
Thank you. This is good commentary, but it's for one person right now who's listening. So I think maybe we need to have a strategy of, starting right now, every Facebook page in the community, the Brown Deer parent page, on every website that we own. If you click on the Brown Deer website, the first thing that comes up is this, because, I mean, we need more than one person at this meeting. I mean, typically last year we had, what, 4, maybe?
9.
And
No, we had 9, well, see, but then you gotta think out that 9, 5 of us was board members.
But my point is, we're all talking here, this all sounds good, but the people that need to know aren't in this room and we're listening. So thank you, Nicole, for attending our meeting tonight. I really appreciate it.
Oh, we got those parent that's right here now, let's not discount.
Yeah,
Right.
in person even,
Right.
thank you. So that leaves 1,439 families that have no idea what we're talking about.
There we go. And
It's a large,
That
large
is.
number. So starting today, we need to advertise this everywhere, that we need people there. We are gonna be talking about future referendums. We're gonna be talking about important financial business for the district, and
Mhm.
we need people there.
right, and that was a
We can't just have
conversation, yes.
2 people at a meeting,
Right.
because, great, now we all know that are here. Okay, that's right. But like I said, there's a huge
Another
amount of people
thing, too,
that don't
right.
know.
And that was a conversation that we had with Dr. Cotton or whatever have you. We've been ready to start sending this stuff out like every other week in relationship to letting parents know and letting people know of not only about the annual meeting, but again, this financial shortfall we're getting ready to have. And we're gonna continue to do that. And then the other thing too that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have a conversation with President Montgomery. You see, because you gotta think about it, the district and the village go hand in hand.
That's it.
And so I'll be having that conversation with President Montgomery, to be able to continue, some ongoing conversation, because like I said to Kevin and I said, to Dr. Cotton was, the better your school district is, the better your community is and stuff, because people want to move into a place where there's a wonderful school community. And so all of these things run hand in hand or whatever. Now I feel like I'm on my soapbox or whatever and stuff. And now I'll definitely be on that one at the annual meeting and continuing to do that as we roll this thing out and stuff. But the plan is at the annual meeting, we are going to put this thing out here and we'll continue that ongoing. And Ms. Walker, thank you very much for the passion relationship, because we're gonna need that passion too when we continue to go out here and beat the drum out here in the community.
You bring up a very good point, because if we know that Brown Deer is made up of a large portion of people that don't have students in the school.
70%.
So we need to reach those people as well.
Yeah.
And so tag team with, President Montgomery is a very good idea, because all village, residents should come to this meeting, not just people that have students.
Because it's still gonna it still affects their tax base.
It affects
It-
everybody, right?
So again, so we're gonna
the
do
better
that.
We can get the word out, then more people to come and give it to.
Yep, and Ms. Walker as the treasurer and stuff, you gonna be out front, we're right along with me, beating that drum, so we're gonna be all right. You hold it, I'll beat it, or the other way around, but we'll get there, and we'll get that thing going or whatever. And I just want, the one person that is on there and our parent that's in here and stuff, the passion that we have in relationship to this, so we know what's coming. And we just wanna make sure that everybody is aware that it's gonna happen, and we've gotta do it, we don't have a choice.
So I want to ask the question that I've been asking for at least a month now. When will we start marketing the annual meeting?
I'm going to be having a meeting tomorrow with, I'm texting her actually right now, our communications coordinator, telling her that she and I need to meet and that this is going to be a priority so that we can get flyers and all of that stuff generated. I also know that there is a PowerPoint or a portion of the PowerPoint that I need to send over to the village, over to President Montgomery. So I'll be taking care of that tomorrow. So
Ms. Robinson, that's the Baird presentation that we had.
presentation that we did.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
And I'll probably put some of that information in the budget presentation that I do at hand.
So you can expect to see something more than likely on the website within the next day or so. Just after I have a meeting with Katie.
Okay, sounds good. I don't know, is there anything else that needed to be said in that? I think we've kind of said it all. In relationship to the budget hearing and the annual meeting on the 26th. And everything and stuff like that. What I will be doing is kind of giving also an update of the district from the board's perspective at that meeting as well too and stuff. And so, yeah, if everybody can come, greatly appreciate it if you're able to come and also be one of those voting members. All right, our next item is Ms. Bacon.
Dr. Beadle, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Ms. Bacon. We have a motion on the floor for adjournment. Can I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you very much, Ms. Walker. Motion is made and seconded. All in favor will raise hand and or aye.
Aye.
All right.
All right, any opposed? Hearing seen none, I call this meeting officially over at 6:40 PM. All right, thank you very much, everyone. Enjoy the remainder of this wonderful day. And we will see you soon.
Thanks, everyone.
No, I just start till 7. Hey, whoa, stop. Oh, we got to close? Yeah. Oh, no.